Hey, I have an FO. Woo-hoo-hoo. It's kind of crazy looking. I shouldn't have put these things in. But it's alright. The color pooling would have been probably mo better. Dang. I don't even have the book up yet. Hang tight. And I've just picked this up to work on. And started this over. So, if I have something else to show you about tomorrow. Alright, it should do 11. Here I am at 11 o'clock on Saturday night. I'm surprised. Surprise. Dang. Yes! We have it fixed. Woo-hoo! Didn't know whether it was or not. I hadn't been paying attention. I think we're on chapter 13, but you saw it in the title. You never know with old ladies. They like tucking things away. They were talking about the desk secret. What did they say? The last thing I read was, it's an agreeable idea, said Tommy. He was talking to Albert. But there's no reason, as far as I know, for Aunt Ada to hide things away in secret drawers. You never know with old ladies. They like tucking things away, like jackdaws they are, or magpies. I forget which it is. There might be a secret will in it, or something written in invisible ink, or a treasure. Where you'd find some written something. There might be a secret will in, or something written in invisible ink, or a treasure. Where you'd find some hidden treasure. I'm sorry, Albert, but I think I'm going to have to disappoint you. I'm pretty sure there's nothing of that kind in that nice old family desk, which once belonged to my Uncle William, another man who turned crusty in his old age, besides being stone deaf and having a very bad temper. What I thought is, said Albert, it wouldn't do any harm to look, would it? He added virtuously, it needed cleaning out anyway. You know how old things are with old ladies. They don't turn them out much, not when they're rheumatic and find it hard to get about. Tommy paused for a moment or two. He remembered that Tuppence and he had looked quickly through the drawers of the desk, had put their contents, such as they were, in 2 large envelopes, and removed a few skeins of wool, 2 cardigans, a black velvet stole, and 3 fine pillowcases from the lower drawers, which they had placed with other clothing and odds and ends for disposal. They'd also looked through such papers as there had been in the envelopes after their return home with them. There had been nothing there of particular interest. We looked through the contents, Albert, he said. It's been a couple of evenings, really. One or two quite interesting old letters. Some recipes for boiling ham, yuck. Some other recipes for preserving fruit. Some ration books and coupons and things dating back to the war. There was nothing of any interest. Oh, that, said Albert, but that's just papers and things, as you might say. Just ordinary go and come what everybody gets holed up in desks and drawers and things. I mean, real secret stuff. When I was a boy, I did 6 months with an antique. I did 6 months with an antique dealer, helping him fake up things as often as not. But I got to know about secret drawers that way. They usually run to the same pattern, 3 or 4 well-known kinds, and they vary it now and then. Don't you think, sir, you ought to have a look? I mean, I didn't like to go it myself with you not here. I would have been presuming. He looked at Tommy with the air of a pleading dog. Come on, Albert, said Tommy, giving in. Let's go and presume. A very nice piece of furniture, thought Tommy, as he stood by Albert's side, surveying this specimen of his inheritance from Aunt Ada. Nicely kept, beautiful old polish on it, showing the good workmanship and craftsmanship of days gone by. Well, Albert, he said, go ahead. This is your bit of fun. Don't go and... He said, go ahead. But don't go and strain it. Oh, I was ever so careful. I didn't crack it or slip knives into it or anything like that. First of all, we let down the front and put it on these 2 slab things that pull out. That's right, you see, the flap comes down this way, and that's where the old lady used to sit. Nice little mother of pearl blotting case your Aunt Ada had. It was in the left-hand drawer. There are these 2 things, said Tommy. He drew out 2 delicate, pilastered, shallow, vertical drawers. Oh, them, sir. You can push papers in them, but there's nothing really secret about them. The most usual place is to open the little middle cupboard. And then at the bottom of it, usually there's a little depression and you slide the bottom out and there's a space. But there's other ways and places. This desk is the kind that has a kind of well underneath, W-E-L-L. Well underneath. That's not very secret either, is it? You just slide back a panel. The point is, it looks as though you'd found all there was to find. You push back the panel, there's the cavity, and you can put a good many things in there that you want to keep. That you want to keep a bit from being pawed over and all that, but that's not all, as you might say. Because, you see, here... But that's not all, as you might say. Because you see, here there's a little piece of wood in front, like a little ledge. And you can pull that up, you see. Yes, said Tommy. Yes, I can see that. You pull that up, and you've got your secret cavity here, just behind the middle lock. But there's nothing in it. No, said Albert, it looks disappointing. But if you slip your hand into the cavity and you wiggle it along either to the left or the right, there are two little thin drawers, one each side. There's a little semicircle cut out of the top. You can hook your fingers over that and pull gently towards you. During these remarks, Albert seemed to be getting his wrist in what was almost a contortionist position. Sometimes they stick a little. Wait, here she comes. Albert's hooked forefinger drew something towards him from inside. He clawed it gently forward until the narrow, small drawer showed in the opening. He hooked it out and laid it before Tommy with the air of a dog bringing his bone to his master. Now, wait a minute, sir. There's something in here, something wrapped up in a long, thin envelope. Now we'll do the other side. He changed hands and resumed his contortionist clawings. Presently, a second drawer was brought to life and was laid beside the first one. "There's something in here, too," said Albert. "Another sealed-up envelope that someone's hidden here one time or another. I've not tried to open either of them. I wouldn't do such a thing." His voice was virtuous in the extreme. "I left that to you. But what I say is, they might be clues." Y'all, my throat is sore. I hate I didn't read last night. I'm sorry. I've just had this fantasy mess. Together, he and Tommy extracted the contents of the dusty drawers. Tommy took out first a sealed envelope rolled up lengthways with an elastic band around it. The elastic band parted as soon as it was touched. "Looks valuable," said Albert. Tommy glanced at the envelope. It bore the superscription "Confidential." "There you are," said Albert. "Confidential is a clue." Tommy extracted the contents of the envelope. In a faded handwriting, and very scratchy handwriting at that, there was a half sheet of notepaper. Tommy turned it this way and that, and Albert leaned over his shoulder, breathing heavily. "Mrs. McDonald's recipe for salmon cream," Tommy read, "given to me as a special favor. Take 2 pounds of middle cut of salmon." That's the whole recipe. He broke off. "I'm sorry, Albert. It's a clue which will lead us to good cookery, no doubt." It just said a pint of Jersey cream, a wine glass of brandy, and a fresh cucumber. That sounds pretty good. Albert uttered sounds indicative of disgust and disappointment. Y'all, I have to stop. I am so sorry. It's in little dibs and dabs. I'll try to do better. Hopefully I'll come on earlier tomorrow, but my throat is sore. I've been putting just throat spray in it, but shoot, that stuff only lasts for a little tiny bit. Okay, I love y'all bunches. I'm going to spray the throat again and start working on this again. And maybe get back to this one. Maybe work on both of them. I am a little here, a little there. Love you bunches. Hope to see you tomorrow at 3. I hope I come on with a reading before that. But we'll see. Love you. Good night.